Hey, this is Derek with Main Garden and Homestead. I want to show you something that I'm actually excited about. It's December 14th, 2021, the start of so-called winter. I know we still have a few days until it's officially winter, but I tell you what, living in Maine, we feel like we've been in winter for a while. Our gardens have been gone since September, and all the growing seems lost. But if you're into indoor growing, I've been doing it for about 7 years. It's something I really love to do for a lot of reasons. One, peace of mind. Two, amazing produce, amazing fruit and vegetables. But this particular bucket, the reason why I'm sharing this today, I call it my salsa bucket. It's literally a 5-gallon bucket from a local hardware store. I've got tomatoes on the outside. I have a bell pepper in the back, Anaheim pepper here in the front, a couple of onions in the back, garlic, and cilantro that I just started up front. But the ingredients I need to make salsa. So I figured if I started them in a certain sequence, they would come out about the same time. The only thing that's going to be a little bit behind is probably the garlic, but either way, eventually I'll have salsa from this bucket. Again, this is in my basement. It's nothing special, and I have other stuff growing that we can talk about here. I'm actually just planting some stuff, but there's so many cool ways to garden in your basement. With a small Fairy Morse light, 24-inch, is how I started all these things in planters. This stuff here is stuff that I did, the tomatoes I did hydroponically in a system that I think is actually crap. It's from Vivasun, the 108 cell thing. I understood that tomatoes wouldn't grow in there. I knew that I could just start them in that. But I had a hard time even growing romaine in it. And I grow hydroponically in deep wells quite a bit. But I would definitely never buy that system again for many reasons. But I'll explain that system at some point. But we're talking about growing in soil. This has been foolproof for me. Yes, I do use hydroponics. I'll share some of that later. Some of my tomato plants I keep hydroponically year-round. My strawberries I'd love to keep hydroponically because they grow so well. But if you're interested in growing something like this, it's pretty simple. Almost everybody's got a 5-gallon bucket kicking around. If you don't, I'm sure you can ask a neighbor. Grab a 5-gallon bucket. Grab a bag of potting soil, typically $8, local hardware store. Go grab yourself a Fairy Morse grow light. Sorry, it's upside down. It's just the way that I mounted the light to the piece of plywood to hold it up above this pot. I also have a 5-foot grow light up here that covers everything else I'm growing, and I have a second one that's going to be put in today. But everything you see here right now, including some of these other onions and the bok choy. I'm getting ready to plant some peas over there on the side. But everything you see here has been grown underneath a 24-inch Fairy Morse light, and I knew it was time to get them into different pots, get more light on them, give them a chance to really start to excel, because they are excelling. These tomato plants are only about 3.5, 4 weeks old. The pepper plants are about the same. Peppers don't grow quite as tall as tomatoes. Tomatoes just grow. They're amazing. Super resilient. But look how green they are for December. This is beautiful. And it's so exciting to be a part of this. I don't have a green thumb. A lot of people say, oh, you must have a green thumb because this stuff works so well for you. Nope, I just use techniques I know that work. But get yourself a bucket from a friend. You might even be able to still get some soil depending on where you are in New England. I can honestly tell you where I'm at. I'm in western Maine, and it's really hard to get soil. You're not putting a shovel in the ground now. But I have scrap lumber kicking around that I just made this little trellis out of. Pretty simple, 2 screws, and it's buried down into the soil in the bucket. And that way I can trellis the tomato plants as they grow. Like I said, I have 2. The reason why I'm doing that is I'm going to prune the tomato plants. With all this growing in a bucket over time, if you just let them grow without trellising them and pruning them, you would really lack light, and their growth would deplete drastically, and probably some of the plants would die. But by pruning your tomato plants and running them up, I prune them up 12 to 18 inches, and then I allow some growth at that point, and then I even trim the overall growth of the plant. Trim them up, it'll allow the light. I'll have the side light. I'll have 2 overhead lights. It's plenty of light. I've been doing this for 7 years. It works amazing, and this will be awesome. And I do have other stuff coming over here. This is my hot peppers that are coming in. I've got Anaheim, Serrano. I've got Aloha pepper there on the left on the second pot. And then on the right-hand side, I believe it's a bell, but I wrote bell mystery question mark because it was one of the only ones that wasn't labeled, but it was near my bell peppers, habanero peppers, jalapeno, and then I got another tomato plant down there on the end. And like I was saying, I'm going to be planting some peas in that. That's why I took an old piece of metal fencing and I stuck it down the pot, filled up with soil, it holds it up. I can grow enough peas in there to get a couple of servings each time I harvest. And if you grow peas right, you can actually get a lot of peas out of that. You know, let it keep going and you'll get a lot. Don't let your peas overgrow or you'll kill your plants. That's the thing that a lot of people do. But like I said, I have bok choy starting down here. I'm going to put some romaine in here. I got some onions and garlic going. If you're wondering where to get seed this time of year for onions and garlic and stuff like that, you can go to your grocery store and buy the small onions, buy the bulbs, put them in the soil or put them in water, and they're going to start growing immediately. It doesn't take but 3 or 4 days, they're going to start getting roots. But if you love indoor gardening and winter gardening, follow my channel, like this video, and I'll continue to produce videos like this and share with you updates, and especially this bucket. And hopefully about 30 to 45 days, we can make salsa. And I'll show you my salsa recipe, which I absolutely love. I make 2 because I like it hot sometimes. I like it completely mild sometimes without any kind of hot pepper in it at all. The onions and the garlic in the mild one make it a little bit spicy, but if it's not spicy enough, I love to throw in a little Anaheim that I do dry and I grind into a powder so I can control the amount that I get, because unless you're completely into really hot, I don't want chunks of pepper on every single bite of my salsa. But anyways, we'll get there. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and we'll have many more things to come, including the strawberry grow. That's going to be very exciting.